Man.
Hello. Welcome to the show.
I want to put that thing on my front porch.
Dude,
What is that called?
it's supposed to be like a steel drum, but my kids lost the mallets for it, so I had to electrical tape some mallets, so it sounds like a wind chime now, but it's supposed to be a lot like nicer and like whole sound.
So again, what's it called?
It's like a miniature steel drum.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't really know. My mom was like, "Hey, I got you this steel drum thing for Christmas, but it hasn't shown up yet." So I'm expecting this like giant steel drum.
It looks like a
And
UFO.
it was like on a Facebook thing. This Asian woman was playing. It's like supposed to be like as big as this table, like 2 feet wide.
What's that called?
I don't remember what it's called. It's like a
Steel
steel drum thing or something. I don't know. Portable steel drum thing.
We'll
Patent
post a picture. We'll post a link to the picture of it so you guys know what we're talking about.
Hey, welcome to Unsought Opinions.
Unsought
with the
Opinions.
boys. We got Bendub, we got Dano, myself, and
A special guest, I would say.
frequently
Brandon.
referenced on the pod, rarely listened to, Brandon.
Yes, he's heard the pod and his reviews.
He said, and I quote, "It wasn't terrible."
So based
he
on
did-
that review, we were like, we got to get him on the pod.
Flew 9 hours to join us.
Hey,
Flew.
9 hours.
drove.
Dude, flying 9
He
hours
said
is
he
like
flew.
for 9 hours from South Carolina.
Well, yeah.
You know where I live.
But did you fly?
You just made the drive.
It was a
last
lot of
week.
circles.
You were just there 2 weeks ago or whatever. And
Flying for 9
Yes.
hours.
Okay. You probably flew for an hour or two.
I drove.
You said you flew.
Good grief.
I said you always drive. You're like, no, not this time. I flew. So you rented a car instead of taking your own.
Not what happened.
He flew up 95, going like
Yeah,
100
maybe
miles
that's what
an
you
hour.
heard. He was like, "Yeah, dude,
Dude, I
there's
was
no
flying.
traffic. I flew all the way here."
I was flying,
If
dude.
you thought I said that, why didn't you question why it took 9 hours?
I didn't mean to say flew 9 hours, but live 9 hours away.
Okay.
How many dead dogs did you see on 95? Because I saw 5.
What?
Yeah, 5 dead dogs.
Coyotes or dogs?
Dogs. I thought one was a human because it's a Doberman Pinscher that was like all spread out wide. My heart sank for a second. I was like, oh, never mind.
Dude, that sounds great.
Oh, good. It's just a dead dog.
So how many
Number
dead dogs
4.
did you see, Brandon?
None.
Oh, wow.
Cleanup crew must
You
have
didn't
come
see
through.
one.
I didn't see one dead dog.
Dude, you weren't looking, bro.
Maybe not.
95's dead dog capital of the world. I've heard that.
Hey, do you know that you can see wild pigs, like in Georgia, on 95?
No,
I did.
that's pretty sick.
Back to you in the studio.
I saw one in Arizona.
Oh, that's sweet.
It was a javelina.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that the same thing, or is that
I don't know
different?
what that is.
It's like a miniature pig, kind of.
They're brutal.
Like a piglet? Like out of a 1,000-acre wood?
Yeah,
or
they
whatever?
look like piglets.
Hey,
with
Stu,
tusks.
put a picture of javelina up for us.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish.
It's a joke for
How
the
did you
YouTube
know it was a
audience.
javelina? Like,
Because I was like, oh, there's a pig in your backyard. And like, oh, that's a javelina.
Whoa.
Yeah, so
Arizona.
it was in
There's the
Tucson.
javelina. It looks like a boar without tusks.
Let me see it.
Whoa.
Or a large mouse.
Yep, that was it. It actually is part of the guinea pig family, I think.
Is it really? They're brutal, I've heard.
Fact
Like,
check me.
I'm uninterested.
This is why we're never going to make it.
We need a guy.
We'll get one.
Yeah, so, hey, everyone. How was your week?
oh, so cool.
That's Steven's.
It's my calling card,
I hate
dude.
it so much, but we do it every week. Week was good, guys. Week was real good, except for a sick baby over the
Oof.
weekend. It was crazy. But
Top or bottom?
I don't know what that means.
Was the bottom sick
Where
or
was
the top
it
sick?
coming out?
Oh, nothing was coming out. She was just, I don't know what was
she
wrong
was
with her. I think she
crying
had
a lot?
strep or something. But I don't know. She failed her strep test. So
Hopefully she passed.
the
it
doctors
next
didn't
time.
even know what was wrong with her.
That's not a good omen for tests to come.
Yeah.
She's already failing at 1.
She'll get better.
You'd hope.
But she's doing
The
better
learning
now.
curve.
That's
So.
good.
How about you, Dan?
Dude, I don't know.
Oh, my gosh.
How about you, Brandon? How was your week?
What started with an 8-hour drive.
Oh,
Wait, how long have you been here?
I got here Sunday night. I mean,
you've been here since Sunday.
yes.
This is the first time seeing you.
Dude, he got to hang out with Mike and
I
Hannah.
tried playing tennis with you guys. No one wanted to play.
Yeah,
I did want to. I just couldn't.
I wanted to, and then everyone bailed, and I was like, I'm not gonna.
You said you were under the weather. Which is it?
I was under the weather, and I said I'm gonna still try and make it. But then everyone bailed, and I was like, I'm not gonna feel like garbage and play tennis if it's just me and Eve.
One-on-one, and Brandon's like really good
He's
at tennis.
so good; it would be so much running.
I'm not that good.
Okay, well,
Brandon,
if we're all javelinas, you're a straight bore. Would we say that?
which one's quicker and faster?
The boar, I would assume.
I would say the
Really?
javelina's smaller
Yeah,
and more
that's-
agile.
I just meant we're
like
like
Brandon.
not good, and he's better.
Yeah, we were just hoping that the analogy you would choose would be accurate and somewhat useful.
I chose to forego the accuracy of the analogy so that it would refer to something that we previously brought up.
Fair enough.
So you drove up.
Yes. And then we played Top Golf at work. That's why I drove up.
Dang.
So that was fun.
Wait, you drove up just because they were having that event?
Yeah, I like coming up to work so I don't have to be in the office like when we have an event.
So people that aren't familiar with our situation, which is no one listening, you work at a company here, but you can be remote. So you live
Correct.
2 states away and just fish all day.
Yes.
Okay.
Accurate.
Minus the fishing
So-
all day part. He does work.
Whenever they anyone listening?
Yeah, and anyone who's listening to this needs to know that he actually works.
I meant on weekends, guys.
Yes.
On weekends. So anytime that they do something like a cool company event, you decide
Yes.
that's when you're going to make your.
Exactly. Yep. It's fun.
What a
I
tough
love
gig.
seeing everyone.
So how often do you come back up?
Once a quarter.
Okay.
Yeah. Whenever they kind of ask me. Or like, hey, you coming up? And I'm like, yeah, I guess I can.
It's been a while. I guess I
Yeah.
can make the long flight. See what I did there?
That's good.
My week was not great. I've been sick since like last Wednesday, and I lost my voice worse than I've ever done before. Like it was like this, like terrible. And I had all my kids like award ceremonies and stuff that I had to go to, and so I'm like trying to talk to their teachers and sounding like an idiot. And I was watching our 1-year-old outside because he was like getting antsy, and I was like kind of chasing him around a little bit while everyone was inside at the award ceremony. And he started running into the street, and I was like, Jeremiah, stop! In front of like all these other dads and everything. It was very embarrassing.
Yeah.
But it's still lingering, and I leave for Guatemala on Friday. So I'm hoping that it goes away before I have to leave. So
Yeah.
What are you doing in Guatemala? Are you staying at Ben's house?
yeah.
Yeah. I'm just glad that you're able to use that house because I never get down there. It's just good that it's going to get used. I think the last time it was used was Dan using it like 3 years ago.
Are you still paying that guy to watch it and make sure no hobos sleep there?
Yeah, but I mean,
Not
it's so
enough. There's-
cheap. It's
dude,
almost like
there's-
he's paying me.
Yeah, there's always hobos.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna be on a mission trip to Guatemala. Ben is what's your name? Brandon is so confused.
I don't know what's real or not. Like, do you have a place in Guatemala?
We never
I
know.
have 2 places in Guatemala.
We never know what's real.
One next to the market, and the other next to
The mountain.
the mountain.
Obviously, the mountain one is way nicer, but less convenient.
Less convenient.
Oceanfront.
But the infinity pool,
On the mountain.
Hey, that's the thing.
Really? Their
Yeah.
ocean's on top of their mountain.
Yeah.
Well, you have one.
It's called Hawaii.
I'm on the other mountain.
Okay. Well, hey, that's great.
Well, thanks for listening this week,
Have you
guys.
thought of anything yet about your weekend?
I think this last week
Dude,
I was playing volleyball a couple
No.
times.
there's stuff that happened like immediately after the last pod that you wanted to talk about. The sacrifice of one. Didn't you
What?
step on something, or am I making that up?
The toad?
Yeah.
Oh, gross. I
Yeah,
forgot
no,
about
I
that.
did step on a toad.
You told us that that's what how was your week gonna be?
Oh yeah.
Impeccable
I did.
memory on
I take note. I have notes.
As soon as I went home, I went out to close up the chicken coop, and I was barefoot, stepped on a toad on the stairs, and then I texted you guys, and Ben's like, "Oh, that's your week."
Yeah, dude. There's some good
Something
content.
to talk about, but yeah. Poor toad.
Did the guts shoot out of it and hit you in the leg?
No, I think I was just shocked.
Wait, so it didn't die?
I don't think so.
You're a nimble walker.
Oh yeah.
My aunt stepped on a toad and the guts shot out of it and were all over her other leg's calf muscle.
Oh gosh,
She needs to be more nimble.
that is a flat-foot walker right there.
She crushed it.
This pathway that we have behind you here, we get slugs, real big slugs on it. So I'll be walking out in the middle of the night, or not in the middle of the night, but out to the car while it's dark out, and you just hit it, and the sludge goo on a slug, it just doesn't come off.
Oh yeah, it's
I don't-
thick.
It's so disgusting. I don't know how familiar you guys are with sludge. Say that.
Sludge.
Yeah, but it's viscous.
Is it?
Viscous.
Are they the weird leopard slug things or whatever they're called?
Probably.
Banana slugs that I was
Banana
talking
slug?
about.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if they are that, but that's what I call them.
Where they look like leopards.
Yeah.
Is that the one that was like chomping on
Yeah,
stuff?
it's just crunching that seed.
Ugh.
Sounded like the ticket machine at Chuck E. Cheese. You know what I'm talking about.
Dude, I do know what you're talking about.
The Chuck E. Cheese.
Which
Oh,
apparently
man,
is all
not Chuck E. Cheese again. I'm so sick of
game
it.
cards now. No more tickets.
That's why you guys have kids, right? So you
Yeah,
can
it's
go
so
to
I can
Chuck
go
E.
back.
Cheese. Yeah.
Didn't they? But they did away with the coins, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
They-
animatronics. It's all just on a
Not
projector.
interesting.
Did we talk
now.
about that last week?
Yeah.
Is that how I know this now?
Yeah.
Did
We
we
talked about it on the pod. That's how I learned it.
The
Yeah.
more you know when you
I don't
listen
think
to
that
us.
episode's aired yet, so
Well, neither has this one, so it'll be fine.
there you go. Brandon, tell us 3 adjectives that you would use to describe yourself, and then 3 adjectives someone else would use to describe yourself.
What? I can't do that.
You can do it.
Let me ask you this,
Shoot.
Brandon.
right.
How do you remember that fateful night when we were playing 100-Man Smash?
Oh my gosh, we're not getting into this.
We have to get into it. Have you guys
I
talked
had
about this
a really
already?
good.
They just did last
We
week.
debate about it a lot.
There's no debate.
What happened?
Okay, what happened?
Steven became an enemy of everyone. Like,
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's true.
we were
but
like, I could be wrong, like 50 levels in, like 50 deaths in to 100 death smash.
so far, so
Like
good.
we were committed.
Yep.
Steven just turns it off.
We had like 20 lives left.
That's no.
And
just
he
said,
claims that
he
he
said
was-
we had 58 lives.
And I said I could have been wrong.
I said
Either-
60 lives.
We were
and 40
way
lives.
too committed to turn off that
I
game.
probably had 50 lives. You guys probably had less. So there's discrepancy.
Definitely not true.
Okay. True or false? I rage quit.
No, I think you just did it because you got bored of it and didn't think about others who were invested.
He claims that he was a hero for us all, but heroes don't quit.
Yeah, he claims.
At the time, he reclaimed to be a hero, and
Thank
he was
you.
totally wrong.
Yeah, no. We told him.
Steve, you're not sounding the way you think you're sounding in this story.
No.
You think that you're some sort of champion of the people. You became the chopping block for all sorts of insults hurled your way for the rest of your life.
I was that before I turned the game off.
That's true. That's
Well,
true.
that's because this is how you live your
Until
life.
Luke came in.
Until Luke and that brief stint with Kiefer. Love you, Keith.
Yeah, Keith, take care, brother.
It was, we started at like 11 o'clock. I'm going to reiterate this every podcast episode for the rest of my life if I have to. We started at 11 o'clock. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning on a
I
weekday.
don't remember it that way.
And we were all gassed and tired, but we kept pushing
See,
on.
nobody remembers that.
No.
We may
that
have
way.
been tired, but we were
committed.
yeah, we're committed.
No.
There was no
Steve,
agreement we should turn off this
There's
game.
the only way you can make the case that it wasn't a rage quit is if you have no real memory of it. And is somebody's phone playing?
That's a bird.
No, I hear talking, like a radio.
It's probably
I hope that's not coming
my
through.
roommate.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes, it is. Anyway,
Okay.
yeah, dude. So you rage quit on us.
I
and it
didn't rage
killed
quit.
us.
He just confirmed that I didn't
I
rage
would
quit.
in my memory, it wasn't rage quit. It was, but there was no agreement to quit.
Oh, no,
I
there
just
was no
think
agreement.
Steven didn't want to play anymore, So he turned it
None
off.
of us
So
wanted to
that
play.
is called rage quit. See, Brandon
No,
Lee's
no,
so
no, no, no,
diplomatic.
no, no,
But it was not because he was losing. He just didn't want to play anymore.
You mean,
I think
you
it's a
mean
little
the fact
bit.
that he was losing is irrelevant.
I think if
I think I was in third place.
actually, if he was winning,
Oh, sorry, Dan, I forgot you
don't
there.
think he would have quit. I agree with you.
Dude.
But I don't think he quit because he was losing. He was just tired and wanted to go to bed.
Where was
and just
Jason
turned it
in
on.
all of this?
Yeah, because
He was probably doing math homework.
dude.
Remember
Jason-
when we cleaned the fridge and we?
Yeah, that's what he was.
Anytime we moved or anytime we had to do a chore,
any big chore.
Jason's in there doing his algebra
He
in
said-
college.
He said, "I have algebra." He's in college. He's like, "Guys, you don't understand. It's really time consuming. I know the math isn't that hard. It just takes a lot of time for one problem." Like, all right, Jason.
But we were in that foreclosed house, so Brandon and I needed to go get a fridge and an oven. So
At
we
what
went to.
point-
Hold on.
Okay.
So we went to.
Dan has
We
had
were-
enough of being cut off.
He has. That was good.
We went to Steven's parents' house.
Oh,
Pulled out his.
Oh, dude,
We pulled out his
forgot
old
this.
freezer in the garage. Fridge freezer
I think it was a
combo. There was a dead squirrel in there from his when he was 11.
I was like 17, but still, it was longer than it should have been.
It was old. And then we went to Brandon's parents' house and got the oven, and the oven didn't have any racks for your food, so then we had to get a fireplace log rack thing, jam that in there all crooked, and then we had 3 mini fridges all stacked on each other when the owner of the house came and took the actual fridge away. So
Yeah, so we
that's a great house.
took the upper fridge and just put it to the coldest setting that it could be to have our freezer, and then we had a mini fridge that was our fridge.
that was the best.
So what happened with the one that we got from my parents' house?
I think we got that after the stack of mini fridges.
Oh, okay. All right.
But what did happen with that after we moved?
I probably just left it. The thing's terrible. I don't know. I don't remember.
Probably.
You probably rage left it, slammed the door on your way out.
Oh man.
Well, then we paid $150 for storage unit for free stuff. For
Yeah,
a
far
month.
too long.
Yeah, everything we had was free. We paid $150 a month.
Who was we?
Me and Dan.
Oh, okay.
And Jason.
Did he do it too?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Well,
It was
You're
the
idiots.
worst.
Right.
I know. Steve wanted to hold on to it.
I did. Yeah. Even after that, I transferred it to a different storage unit. And paid myself.
Jason and I bailed.
Yeah. Well, we had 2 months free at the storage unit. Maybe that was the one that I got. And then after the 2 months, I was just I pieced out. But yeah, that's how BoneBot survived.
That's true.
Friend of the pod.
Friend of the pod.
But missing.
Wait, seriously?
Oh no, we ultimately threw him away.
Well,
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
the photos.
Yeah,
I looked for
yeah,
a long time.
I looked
last
for
week.
a long time as well.
Must have
know.
been reported.
Right, exactly. I don't know where he could have gone. Miss you, bud. We miss you. Well, I think that settles that debate.
Except for everybody agrees that you rage quit. Brandon's just not.
You're
He's too nice to
literally
call it rage
the only
quit.
person that keeps pushing the rage quit thing, and it's really hurting my feelings.
It should. It hurt all of our feelings.
Did we not go back and play the 100-man smash?
I don't
afterwards?
remember.
We did.
We did.
Oh, yeah.
We agreed to play with Steven again.
I wasn't there for that. I didn't. I never.
don't know
got,
if Steven
I never
was
got to
invited.
play it.
Okay, well, Brandon, since we have you here, we're going to turn the podcast off. We'll come back in about 6 hours.
It doesn't take that long.
It seemed like
The
it did.
As I pointed out
So,
earlier.
Yeah, your math. That I thought the math worked out great when I was
Yeah,
playing
I'm
it.
sure you did.
Okay. What's wrong about that? A five-man match or 5-life match lasts 15 minutes about.
No, it does. Does it?
I don't know if that's true or not.
Would you say shorter or longer?
I would say it's shorter, but I honestly don't know.
I would say a 5-man match between all of us is probably closer to a 30 minutes.
How long do you think a full
No, it's
100
not.
takes? 4-man 100.
No, because that's break it down per life.
Do we still have it? I'm interested.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's in that room right there. So we could definitely.
All right, we'll be back.
Anyway,
Just kidding.
I'm not.
so while we have you on the pod, because I don't know, we'll probably get you back in a quarter or so. The second extremely debatable topic that is at the crux of our friendship goes back to The Walking Dead.
I'm in the wrong. I can't.
Well, you and
I
Dan
know I'm
are
in the wrong.
on the same page on this, right?
What happened?
Yeah.
Oh,
For the
that.
most
No,
part,
I'm
yeah,
not
yeah.
in the wrong on that.
Okay, so here's where we're at.
I thought you were gonna get mad at me for going ahead of you
What
guys.
happened? What happened?
Oh,
with
that
the-
was really bad.
I was
too.
wrong in that for sure.
Yeah, we were all watching it as
Unit.
roommates.
Oh, the debate.
And
You're wrong.
You,
Yeah.
Brandon, watched like a season ahead, and then
Oh,
Dan
dude,
did as well.
nice.
I was so mad. I literally, I took it way too emotionally but I was very offended by that.
You were right. I was wrong in that
Yeah, well-
instance. Yeah.
All right, so
Wow.
this is going back 12 years. So we're gonna rehash something, but it has a more a larger point. But in the
The
show,
greater good.
the people were running out of the hospital, and with medicine for a boy. They both jump out of a window. One of the guys breaks his ankle. The first guy shoots the second guy who broke his ankle in the leg and ran off with the medicine. Is that justified?
Is it just to let a bunch of children die because they can't get their medicine in time for a guy that's not going to live very long anyways?
So the overarching theme here that we find ourselves is, if I kill one person and it saves 20 people, no morality question with the one person. So you can't say like you shoot Hitler and save millions of people, but there's just one
Allegedly.
innocent guy. You shoot him to save 20 other people.
The only
Go ahead, Brandon.
the only caveat in this is the one person you shot was inevitably going to die within the next 2 minutes. And
That's what I was gonna say.
The only disagreement, he shouldn't have shot him in the leg. He should have shot him in the head, so he didn't suffer by getting eaten by the zombies.
Well, but that's what slowed them down longer.
And in that case, justified. It's like if he
You
doesn't
guys
if he
are-
doesn't kill them, they all die,
Dude, he's a big
and the children.
fat guy with a broken ankle. You can outrun him. Just outrun him.
He did.
He was dead anyway, and it potentially saved his life and 20 other kids' lives. It's a no-brainer.
Wasn't that he shot him in the leg to steal the medicine from him?
No.
Or so he had the medicine the whole time.
They both had the same goal: get the medicine back.
Well, I understand that, but why shoot him in the leg? There's no reason to shoot him in the leg.
Also, spoiler alert for anybody who's listening.
The character was Shane, by the way.
Thank you. And nameless
Season 2-ish.
bigger guy. Season 2, episode 3, I think.
Was
I have
Shane
no idea.
John Bernthal's character?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the Punisher?
Yes.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It wouldn't have been episode 3. He
I have
started to
no
go
idea.
crazy after that. So, anyway, Ben, what do you think?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay,
He just
talk about the morality question.
The morality of it? I mean, ideally. So, when you're talking about these kinds of things, everything has to be through the lens of an ideal world, right?
No.
Okay.
Being overrun by zombies
Being-
is not ideal.
Exactly. That's the point. You're no longer what your standard morality is in an ideal world is out the window when you have zombies going everywhere.
It's like war
So-
rules.
So, okay.
So shoot the guy in the leg and roll. I mean,
I'm on an island here, boys.
So, Steven,
that's weird. That's like a recurring
Steven,
theme.
Is your argument he was going to die anyway, so why have to shoot him?
Yeah.
I can buy into that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but
If you're
If
saying
there's a
if you're
chance
saying
that-
there was no need for him to get shot and the same outcome happens, yeah, you don't shoot him. But that's not what the show
But my
depicted.
point is, you don't sacrifice even one innocent life to
But it-
save 10 innocent
But it's not a
lives.
sacrifice. He was dying anyway.
can you
You
explain
don't know that.
Can you explain that?
To me, it's almost like you got two drowning buses, one with one person, one with 20 people. You can only save one bus. You save the bus with 20 people.
No, I don't understand.
No, you go in alphabetical order on the license plate.
Correct. I'm
First
wrong.
in, first out.
First, yeah.
You are not the one drowning the buses.
Yeah,
It's
but
the-
which one would you
It's
save?
the bus full of 20.
Yeah, I didn't bring the zombies to kill the guy. It's a horrible situation.
So that's fine.
you saved the
Outrun the
20.
guy and save the boy. But you shooting the windows out of the bus so that it fills with water faster doesn't help anyone. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, in the bus situation would not.
The question is
Are you worried about the waste of a bullet?
the question is, do you kill one person to save 20?
Yes, every time, without even thinking about it.
Even though the one's innocent.
Yeah.
I don't know
Dude,
if I don't. I need to watch the episode again to see exactly what happened. Because
Yeah.
I don't think I could kill one person. To save
Also, I
one.
gotta be honest with you. It depends on who these people are. Like, yeah, I'm not sacrificing my wife for 20 of you guys. You know what I mean?
Well, I think in the show it was mainly the kids.
What about
that
40?
Needed the medicine, right?
It was only one kid. I was sacrificing one for one.
No, it was also medicine for the whole group.
It was not a 1-for-1.
Yeah.
If it was such a clear-cut answer, why did he go insane from his decision?
He was insane already.
He wasn't insane
Agreed.
already.
He was already going insane. I'm not saying I wouldn't go insane from doing it.
Man, I wish I could remember what you guys were talking about.
I'm not saying it would
Well,
be.
it only aired 12 years ago.
It would
Actually, it was probably longer than that. We only watched it 12 years ago.
Yeah.
I think that decision would haunt me the rest of my life, but I still think it's the right decision.
Who shot him? Who shot Shane?
No one shot Shane.
Shane shot somebody.
Shane shot the big guy that was like
A lesser
related to the
character.
farmer.
Oh.
The farmer's Dell.
Well, Shane was already kind of crazy.
I don't remember.
Dude, he was
Yeah.
wasn't he like
That was like
macking
his-
on Craig's wife or whatever that guy's the main character?
Yeah, but he thought he was
that
dead.
she
He was well on his
Coral.
way of going insane.
Coral?
no, Coral was the son.
Carl.
Yeah,
I know.
Rick
Rick
Angeli or whatever his name was.
Grimes.
Grimes, that's right.
But actually, Shane did become a good guy later on. I
He-
think.
He
No,
did. He
no,
made,
not shot.
Dude, he died like immediately.
but didn't he make it like a good, honest, like moral decision before doing that?
No, I don't think so.
I'd have to watch it again.
I forget how he died.
Like,
They were in the.
I think he was
Also, I
trying
stopped
to
caring
kill
about
Rick.
this.
Yeah, I think he was trying to kill Rick.
Dude, I think he was trying to murk out Rick in
And
the
he-
field.
Rick shoots him, and then he comes back as a zombie or something. And then
And didn't Rick then realize,
Captain.
oh wait, these guys come back as zombies? Wasn't Shane's death like a key moment to him?
yeah, because he wasn't bit.
Yeah, and he had to like murk the guy in the head. Because then he was like, okay, so we all have the virus regardless of being bit or not.
Yeah,
How long
dude.
is how
Yeah,
long
dude.
is this podcast?
an hour. We really got to chew up time with nothing. Hey, so this it's funny because running this podcast, it started making me like throughout my week, I'll find something interesting and just kind of make a note about it.
It's debatable on how interesting it is.
Okay, you tell me. You tell me.
I came across
Let,
something
let- let
slightly
me, let me ask you
interesting.
this question, Steve, in front of Brandon. Is it interesting to see lightning bugs that all sync up and flash at the same time? Because everybody who's listened to the podcast, who's talked to me since,
A resounding
thinks that you're
yes.
crazy. He thinks no. He thinks
What do
there's
you mean
nothing
no?
interesting about that. And they started telling us about some crazy, like, out of this world, confusing mathematical equation that lets you understand what the temperature is if crickets are cricketing at the right time.
Okay, you add 37 to a cricket's cricket. That's not, and it tells you the temperature.
Whatever.
What?
So
Yeah,
you-
exactly.
You count the number of chirps of a cricket for 15 seconds, and then you add 37 to it, and it tells you the temperature in Fahrenheit.
Is that-
Also,
is
one
that right?
person,
Yeah.
one person
That's
I
kinda
was
cool.
one person I was talking to about that said that Dan had a really good point about how crickets stop chirping when you go into the garage.
I lost it when I was re-listening to that.
It is true. And frustrating.
Stupid.
So, Brandon, is it interesting that lightning bugs sync up?
Oh yeah, I think it's really cool. Yes.
I may have
I also think
harshed the mellow, and I apologize for that. The fact that they sync up is cool, but I don't think it's like a telepathic thing.
No one said that.
I think that was said.
I do also think the
well.
cricket thing is pretty cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, the cricket thing is.
To a degree.
I mean, like I just feel like you can like figure out an equation in mathematics for any kind of thing. But if you're saying it's as simple as adding 37 to whatever,
Yeah.
What
you're
is
adding
the-
37 to what?
You
though?
count the crickets for 15 seconds. How many chirps in 15 seconds? And then you add 37.
And
It's like
so if it's 110 degrees, they're going to go fast enough to be.
Is that just how fast like
that
their
cannot
immune-
be true.
That's so cool.
okay. Do you also know the thing about you can tell where lightning is based off of the thunder?
Yes.
Is that true?
Like counting it out?
Yeah.
It's like
yeah,
a
I
second
know
a
about
mile.
that.
It's the same kind of thing.
Well, no, it's different.
Well, that's just the speed of light versus the speed of sound.
Yeah.
But it's the same amount of
Yeah.
math needed for them.
Okay.
So,
So
all right,
what-
maybe we'll
So
meet
when
in the
Dan
middle
goes
and
into
say,
the garage,
I think it's interesting.
We
it's
were both harsh
37
on the
degrees
other
'cause he
one.
stops here.
Except for at the time, I was interested about the crickets thing.
Were you?
Yeah, because
You didn't
it
even
is,
say it. You were
it is
just making fun of
mild.
me.
It is mildly interesting. The lightning bug thing is simple enough that we can just understand how interesting it is.
Did you
Some
know
with a bunch of buffoons.
that Japan's birth rates are declining so much that is double the people that are born each day or year die? So
interesting.
So their death rate is double what their birth rate is.
yes. So now the government's coming out with some dating apps to try and boost production.
Is Japan the same? Was it China that was limiting?
It's
how many-
China.
China.
Okay.
China, and they're having a population crisis, I believe.
Well, they
Mhm.
lifted that ban.
Dude, isn't
Yeah,
it
'cause
To
they
some-
need
to
to.
try
Yeah,
to
they need
counteract the
yeah.
damage done.
Isn't it funny how God's command for us is
Be fruitful and multiply.
yeah, and all of society says don't do it, and then when you don't do it, what
I definitely haven't. I mean, there's two of us, and we only have one.
You're in the negative.
I'm in the
Hurry
neg.
it up.
Also, I know a guy who's from Japan, and maybe he would like to come on and talk to us about that, among other things.
Is he an expert?
I'll
in
reach
it?
out. I'll reach out to him.
That'd be cool.
Do
That'd
it.
be interesting. Bidets versus toilet paper is one note that I have. So
a good note.
we look at Europe and think that they're gross for like not shaving their pits and stuff
And for a multitude of other
for
reasons.
a multitude of
Yeah.
reasons. But they probably look at us and say, "You guys don't use bidets. You just take a wadded up piece of paper and wipe your rectum with it. You don't wash it. You don't sterilize it. You just wipe it with this balled up piece of paper and throw it in the toilet. And then half the time, don't even wash your hands afterwards.
But at
That's
least we
what?
You wash your hands.
Nobody washes their hands?
You guys wash your hands. No, I wash my hands. But
Sometimes.
That did not. I'm not convinced.
I
at
know
this
my
point.
kids.
Do you flush it or throw it in the garbage can?
Well, I'm in America, so I flush it. When I'm in
Not everybody does.
No.
Yeah.
it's a cultural thing. In
no,
I had
no,
a-
not everyone in America does, is what you're saying?
Not everyone. I mean, people from America, yes. But visitors
Oh, well,
sometimes
that's
do
different.
not.
That happened to us when we
In
were
South
housing.
America,
It was my whole
in
college experience.
Middle America, you can't.
Whoa.
They don't have pipes that you can flush it. So you
Yeah,
have to
I understand
yeah.
that.
So yeah, I guess you just get used to
But
it.
that's how you grow
I thought
up.
Dan was going to say Steven doesn't do that, and he's I'm like, that's what?
A different roommate.
Yeah.
A bidet is kind of tight, I gotta say. It's pretty tight.
I've never used one. But I
I've grown
bought
up
one.
hating on it and making fun of people for it. But then I was thinking about it and I was like, yeah, this is really gross. Like, we just it
I've
doesn't
been-
do a great job. I promise you that.
I've been wanting to buy
The
one
toilet
for like the
paper.
last 5 years, but at least it won't let me.
I bought one.
I'm
but
very
it didn't
intrigued.
fit my toilet, so I had to gift it in a white elephant exchange.
Can you imagine getting a bidet?
Why
It's
is
your
this
white
open?
I would have loved it.
Kind of wet. Yeah, it wouldn't fit my toilet.
I used it as a shower head.
lightly used. That's really
A
fun.
new open box.
Oh,
That's
gosh.
what that means, I guess.
The other thing, I was driving with my son, and he said, "Dad, does dragon start with a J?" And I said, "What?" My son is 5. He said,
I love that.
"Think dragon," and then I thought about it. We pronounce our DRs as JR for any word. Drum, you don't say drum, you say drum. For dragon, you don't say
But it'd be
dragon.
like DJRUM.
That's what.
We are lazy.
And you do the exact opposite with J's. You pronounce your J's as D's.
Yeah, I dump rope.
Jurassic Park.
Tourette's. No, I think that's still like a
it's the same sound.
G. Yeah,
Jurassic.
Jurassic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is Jurassic Park. That's what it's supposed to be. Wow. So I thought that was an interesting observation that he made.
What do you think about that, Brandon?
Jan?
Genial?
Steven.
Got him.
Dang it! I always think I'm in the clear, and then this. Did you see that Dan Carlin dropped a new episode of Hardcore History?
No, but it's about time. I need to check it out.
Dude, it's.
Is it a continuation of whatever the last series he was doing?
I don't think so. It's about Alexander the Great,
Oh,
so it's a good one so far.
dude,
But
perfect time for that.
speaking of which, so Alexander the Great's mom is married to Philip the Great, who like started the whole rule of Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great kind of took this. He keeps saying the Cadillac of armies or whatever, but and goes on forward. So Alexander the Great's mom raises Alexander from 0 to like 5 before he gets sent off to schools and everything. apparently she tells him the story that Zeus came down and mated with her, and that was how he was born. So he is son of Zeus, which is typical and stuff of all this Greek and Macedonian stuff. But apparently Philip looked in through the peephole of the door to see what she was doing in the bed because she was making noise, and sees her messing around with a giant snake in her bed. So Zeus apparently took the form of this snake, which mated with the mother, which to me threw out a lot of like crazy.
Sometimes
This
this
is
where the
crazier than the
podcast
butt
goes.
bacon from last week.
So like, first of all, it's a known thing that like she would have these like giant snakes in her bedroom and in her bed to like freak out guys and stuff. But it takes it a little bit further, which kind of goes into all the myths of the Nephilim are half angel, half human, and so Alexander the Great could have been a Nephilim with the snake taking the form of an angel taking the form of a snake, which we have precedents for that happening and stuff. I don't know. I just heard that story and I was like, dude, that's weird.
Did he
Dan
seem-
goes into that a lot.
He doesn't go into any of the Nephilim type stuff.
Oh,
He just
okay.
says she diddled a snake.
Did he have? Did he have some kind of magical powers?
P. Diddy.
Alexander the Great?
Yeah.
He was one of the greatest emperors ever.
Well,
He was
yeah, I
a-
know,
he was
but
a
was there
great-
anything like unworldly about him?
He
I
was wasn't he kind of small?
He was short, yeah. When he stood
No
on his,
legs or arms.
when he sat on his throne, his feet didn't touch the floor. Weird thing though, so Zeus is also called Ammon, and Ammon-Ra is the Egyptian sun god.
Amun-Ra.
Either way,
Amun-Ra.
Amun-Ra. He's the sun god, and so So I think that's also kind of weird as far as like all of the Greek gods and goddesses and stuff. Presumably were the fallen angels that bred with humans to make the Nephilim, which were like Hercules is supposed to be one, Achilles, all these half man, half god people and stuff were supposed to be the Nephilim and everything. I don't know. I thought it was kind of interesting.
It's very interesting to have.
Especially because Alexander the Great is like a contemporary of a lot of the Old Testament and stuff, as opposed to all these ancient heroes that we didn't hear about or anything. So
Is all of that in like the Odyssey and Iliad?
no, this is hundreds of years after the Odyssey and the Iliad. So I think it's like 500 years after.
Alexander the Great?
Yeah.
Is this also like mythology, or did they also claim to be?
That's what's so crazy. And Dan Carlin goes into this in his podcast, but you have to accept kind of both. And because that's how they viewed the world, that was how they wrote all their history and everything and stuff. So it's just kind of interesting. Additionally, I thought this was cool. So you had Socrates, who is the Greek philosopher everyone knows. His protege is Plato, and then his protege is Aristotle, right? So you have these three people that were
It's crazy.
the craziest,
Yeah, it's
greatest
crazy.
minds ever.
It's nuts.
Aristotle taught Alexander the Great. And according to writings back and forth between them, there was a secret knowledge passed down from Socrates to Plato to Aristotle that no one else knew about.
And
everything.
it died with Vincini.
I don't know who Vincini is.
You will.
Okay. But apparently, so that also got me on the rabbit trail of the Nephilim and the Watchers and stuff were supplying mankind with all this unknown hidden knowledge that they can't tell anyone about, and that's how we like got all the great inventions and everything that we did.
It's crazy.
So are you just laying in bed Googling all this stuff?
No, I'm just listening and I have a good mind.
Nice.
Yeah.
Question. I've never studied philosophers, so what kind of knowledge did each of those guys bring?
Just
Like I know they're philosophers, but I don't know what they studied or.
a lot of the bedrock stuff that we view, like they just shaped Western culture and Western mind. So like Socrates, I think it was Socrates, it might have been Aristotle, but he said the unexamined life is not worth living. So that's why you have to keep examining everything about every part of the world and stuff. I can't remember if the forms was part of them or if that was someone else. That might have been Plato, where you're like in the cave, and is reality just a mirror image of like you're in a cave playing with all these like animals or whatever on sticks. And so the cave is illuminating a shadow of these animals and sticks on the walls. So is that the reality that we're actually seeing, or are we the actual animals and stuff? So it's just a lot of these like kind of crazy things that they talk about and they do.
I feel like we kind of talk about that stuff around a campfire,
Yeah.
so people should be listening.
Why are we pointing at the drum?
I know Brandon was, so I figured I would.
We still got 20 minutes for it, bud. No, what do you?
I forget.
All right.
I heard you say sticks playing something. I'm like, oh.
Oh yeah,
just
yeah.
like
I
that.
see. Yeah. So you'd be doing this in front of the campfire.
Yeah.
And you see the shadow on the wall, and it's like, are we the form or are we the shadow right now?
Ooh. Yeah.
Dude, we could get into some cool philosophical arguments, but
We could
philosophy was my favorite class in college. Did you take it?
No.
Oh, okay. Did you?
Nope.
Golly, guys. What'd you do for
That
your
sounded
electives?
really boring to me, actually.
Really?
Yeah, and history is my worst subject, so
Do you
kinda
know
goes
any
hand in
like
hand.
cosmological arguments for the existence of God or anything like that?
In college?
Yeah.
No,
Okay. Well,
none of that's required for business.
do you know like the watchmaker premise and stuff?
No.
So you have all the ingredients to a watch in a bag, and you tie it up in the bag and you shake it.
Yeah.
No amount of shakes, you're gonna create a watch that's fully ticking and everything. And so that's supposed to be the existence of humanity is like we're so complex. There's no amount of randomness is going
Yeah,
to create.
I've heard that.
Okay, that's a lot of the cosmological stuff, right?
I guess it is, yeah. It all seems very elementary to me.
That's kind of what I'm saying. I feel like we
Brandon,
could
you're
come up
my
with the
smart
same
friend.
stuff
I need your help.
around a campfire.
I like psychology more than that.
Tell me about psychology.
He loves
I don't-
therapy.
What's he
thinks
thinking?
everybody should be in therapy
Well, I
all
like
the time.
I like to think about how people think and why you think.
Okay.
I like seeing reactions in people. Like I'll do things just to see a reaction and see
Mhm.
how they react, and it tells you a lot about someone.
Give me an
And
example.
it sounds creepy, but I don't know. I don't have one.
What do you think about Steve?
Actually, that's what I was thinking of just now. Like not having an answer. I'm like, what does he think about me right now?
I think a lot of things.
I don't like my nieces and I don't have kids. Nieces and nephews. Like I'll do things purposely wrong to see how they react, and it's just fun.
Mm.
I don't know.
It is fun with kids saying something
Yeah.
completely random that they're like, they feel like they know it's wrong, but they're like, wait a second.
But it also like it helps me be compassionate towards people. Just trying to put myself in their shoes. What led them to this path?
Truce.
What was that?
Dan just poked
so
Brandon.
This is why we need a YouTube. This is why we need video.
I don't understand what just happened.
I was trying to get the mic closer to his mouth, and we
thank
do this
you.
thing where if we accidentally touch each other, we just punch each other.
You should have
So-
punched me.
Well, but it was my fault,
Oh,
although it's been done.
has been. But yeah, just being compassionate, like so to get back to that. But like, I've never lived someone else's shoes, and I try to. Like, no matter how bad, I could have gotten there if I lived a similar or like.
Sure.
And just one thing leads to another, and you try to make good decisions. But I don't know where I'm going with that. But I just gravitate towards more psychology.
I heard one time someone say everyone's doing the best they can with what they got. And I don't know that I always...
I don't agree with that.
I don't always 100% agree with it, but I do think that is kind of along the same lines as you're saying, is like, people don't choose, I'm going to be a terrible person today. You know what I mean?
I agree with it, but they do choose by their actions. They're essentially choosing that.
Okay.
Premeditated murderers do write like a whole journal about what they're gonna do badly that one day.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the guy that I heard that from was bogus.
No, it's just philosophy.
Right.
It's all elementary people
Oh,
just learning fancy words. That's all it is.
No.
What was that?
No real life experience.
Yeah. Have you seen Good Will Hunting?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you can tell me everything about the Sistine Chapel, but you can't tell me how it smells. So,
That's
when he just like
interesting.
schools Matt Damon. That's my favorite movie.
It's your favorite movie?
Probably, yeah.
That's a pretty good one.
It is a good one.
I mean, I'm just thinking of all the greats out there. Good Will Hunting.
Jurassic Park, Jurassic Park 2.
The Lost World. Really, anything with Jeff Goldblum.
The Fly.
No idea who that is.
He's the guy who has that crazy laugh in the first movie. So you guys dig,
Oh,
dig
I thought we were
up
talking
the
about Good Will
dinosaurs.
Hunting. I know that guy.
Dude, that dude's amazing.
Dude, he's like, isn't he actually a genius?
Yeah,
Okay.
100%.
Yeah.
Have you seen his show on, I think it's Disney Plus? It's like The World According to Jeff Goldblum.
No.
Dude, it's nuts.
Dude, there's
Like
something howling inside Steve's
Ghost
house.
is shaped like a dog.
Anyway.
Ghost dog.
Well,
Brandon, what's the biggest fish you've ever caught?
Not including shark or
sharks are fish?
Is a shark
we can
not a
do
fish?
both.
shark. What's the biggest shark we've caught? Ben, 9, 10 feet,
Am
am I
probably more
over-exaggerating?
like 8 feet.
Okay.
I would think
8, 9 feet.
80s. 80s for the ladies.
8 to 10, I guess.
So non-shark. I don't know.
Have you caught like a tuna or one of those?
We've caught blackfin tuna.
That's so sick.
Yeah.
So you own a deep sea boat right now?
I have a friend that owns a deep sea boat, which is way better.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, that's the way you want it to be.
Be friends with a rich guy.
And parked in his driveway.
Yeah.
But the coolest fish is a sailfish, and we catch tons of mahi and triggerfish and snapper.
Have you caught sailfish?
Yes.
Okay. What's the biggest sailfish you get?
So we're
So,
not
like,
we're not catching like the sailfish don't actually get that big.
Oh, really?
They just have a sail and a bill, which is really cool.
Yeah.
I was actually disappointed with how little they fought.
How many dolphins?
Well, they're
have
so
you caught?
thin.
I don't know, 30
Wait,
collectively.
is
like
mahi a dolphin?
mahi's dolphin.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
you do know it's a fish, right? Like not a dolphin.
I thought it was
So it's not a dolphin.
Well, it's it's like those green yellow fish that they call dolphin, but they're mahi.
yeah.
like
I was I
fluorescent
didn't think
when
they were
they're in the
actual
water.
dolphins.
They're not dolphins like you would just go.
Then why would
Oh.
they call them a dolphin?
They're just called dolphin fish. Dude, you know this.
Yeah,
I
they're,
don't.
They're called.
See, this is why philosophy's stupid.
I feel dumb explaining
We
it to
really
you.
have an Athenian versus Spartan thing going on here, don't we?
Tell them about the time we were kayaking the bait out.
Dude, this is funny.
Which time, Dan?
You know the time.
Well, there's two
When
times.
you chummed the
There's
water.
2 times.
Well, there's one time we flipped and Dan didn't drop the bait. I asked you dropped the bait, right, Dan? He's like, yeah, I did. And I like look over next to my foot, and it's like rubbing up against my foot. Like, Dan.
Yeah. Super bloody shark bait. We're like 100 yards out in the middle of the ocean. Get hit by a rogue wave.
I'm basically swimming next to the bait.
Yeah, like, drop the bait, drop the bait.
And then as soon as we get set up, like a stingray hits it, like almost instantly.
Oh yeah, instantly.
And then another time, which I think he forgets, that I think is I'm even more mad at. They're super rough out. We're camping. It was nuts. I don't know how we got out, but on the way back, which I'd way rather flip on the way back, but we hit this wave. For some reason, it flipped us, and I have no idea why. And I look over at Dan. I'm like, what happened? He's like, I don't know. I'm like, Dan, what happened? He's like, oh, I bailed. And I'm like, Dan.
I kind of remember.
Like we were,
Well, I mean-
we were totally fine. And
No, I don't think we were. That thing was huge.
then you didn't want to tell me that you bailed.
You rage bailed on the kayak?
Was that the same time when we were like
We
spread
end-
out so
we
far?
ended up like 200 yards apart. Like, luckily,
Yeah.
the tide was
So
coming
with
in.
our paddles and
Oh,
kayak
that's
and
true, yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
And then we're trying to get help from
How far out? are
probably you
from the
guys back at the
coast?
beach.
When we
I
flipped
wasn't there
200
on the
yards,
camping
250 yards.
Oh,
If the tide
on
was
the
going
camping
out, we would have gone out with the tide. Like, we wouldn't have gotten back in.
Dude, we were so far out, and we're trying to like
you have
wave
made
and
it
have
back to
them
each
come help
other?
us. Nothing.
No.
So you would have just died.
No, we had life vests.
But-
And
okay.
that's the trip you guys caught that tiger shark?
Yeah, we caught the tiger
Yeah.
shark.
So you know that, and something chomped that tiger shark when you were bringing it in.
Yeah, there's a big.
So you guys would have died just from sharks, probably, because tiger sharks would have definitely eaten you.
Well, I stayed on the kayak. Dan bailed.
You
I
couldn't have
had
used
I had
the
to go
kayak?
swim and get the paddles because he was just paddling with his hands.
I
Yeah,
dropped-
because there's tiger sharks in the water, bro.
How else are we gonna get back?
Dude, that's so.
that was probably
sketchy.
the most
And we were
sketch moment.
we were so tired too once we got to the beach, and no one would come and help us.
Hey guys,
We were
wait.
out there for like 45 minutes.
There's a lightning bug over there.
Is it going to sync up with the others?
I don't know.
They don't do
You
that
guys are
around
lightning
here.
bug experts. I just want you to tell me about it.
I want to see those lightning bugs. I don't care to hear crickets. That's what I'm saying.
You gotta get a lottery ticket.
Need to do it.
Lottery ticket.
You do. I'm serious.
That's not a joke.
Yeah, you have to get a lottery ticket.
You have to win the lottery to be able to go and see them.
Yeah, no, I get it. I understand.
No,
That's
but
how
they're like
Do you not know how
actual
lotteries work?
They're hard
Philosophy
to get.
guy.
And I think that's kind of proof that it's amazing.
Right.
Yeah,
I just
exactly.
that's like someone saying, "I'm gonna enter this bird sanctuary lottery." I couldn't care
Better than a cricket lottery, I always
one
say.
thing about. That's the beauty of the cricket lottery. Everyone wins. You
And
got-
also, if you're hearing crickets in your house, you've also lost.
you've also lost.
Speaking of birds and stuff, I just saw my first pair of bird watchers on the mountain the other day when I was fly fishing.
Did you?
Yeah, I was walking down the trail and they were like crouched down and like looking up in the woods, and I was like, "Oh man, they're hiding from like a bear or something." So like I get up close and this old lady, she looks over at me, she's like, "We're bird watching." I was like, "Oh,
I just had this conversation about The Big Year on Sunday.
oh yeah, nice, yeah.
Good movie.
yeah, real good movie. That's actually my favorite movie."
But we were talking about how expensive that's got to be.
Oh yeah,
If you're trying to get every single bird.
dude, if you're globe
in
trotting for
one year,
birds,
Yeah. You get a phone call. Oh, there's one in Japan. Quick, hop on the jet. Go all the way to Japan. Oh,
Insane.
now go to Brazil.
insane.
Ben, are
So
you going to
much.
start tracking your bird watchers? Like,
Yeah. Are you bird watching? Watching?
Yeah, I need to. Yeah, I should have gotten their license plate.
I tried to do this thing probably 10 years ago where it's like you get pictures of people taking selfies.
Oh, that's
It's just
actually
like-
that's really funny.
It's kind of funny.
That's funny. How many people have died taking selfies? Does anybody know that number?
That's a lot.
Is it, you think it's actually
the,
a lot?
The Grand Canyon is a
Hot spot.
habitual selfie killer.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Somebody
look
died
it up.
like the week before I was there.
Did you
Or
ever
like
hear that
couple
the,
days.
you know, the is it called a Segway?
Mhm.
That thing you ride
The
on?
2-wheel thing.
How everyone said the creator died on that thing,
Nice.
drove off a cliff.
Yeah.
I've heard that.
Well, it wasn't him, because I saw a show with him on it. And he's like, he invented that thing, and he's like, everyone always thinks I'm dead, but it wasn't me. It was the CEO I sold the company to.
Dude, that is crazy.
So from January 2008 to July 2021, 379 people died in
not bad.
selfie-related accidents.
Wow.
That's crazy.
I just
That's-
hiked the Grand Canyon, north to south.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was the worst. I don't
How
recommend
many
it.
miles is it?
24
That's
the way
it?
we went, yeah.
Wait, the whole Grand Canyon is only
How long
24
did it
miles?
Well, oh, no, not lengthwise, from the north rim to the south rim. So you're at the top of one side, and you go down.
4 miles
and
to
go to
go
the-
from one to the other.
Oh,
Top
you
to the
just
other side.
drop down and drop up.
Yeah.
And you went from north to south?
Yes.
Where did you come out on the south?
I don't know.
How'd you
Were
cross
you in
the river?
What?
How'd you cross the river?
There's a bridge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because that's like a brutal river, right?
I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
You could swim across.
I was on a bridge.
they've got
yeah.
some.
Like,
Did you watch the video at the visitor center? 'Cause it's crazy. They've got videos of like what it was like in the very beginning with all the Indians and then the settlers and stuff on their little rafts that they made out of like basically bamboo and sticks.
Wow.
It's crazy looking. These people were reenacting it, and it looked very sketchy.
I have a
Yeah.
friend doing that now, or rafting not on bamboo sticks, but
That would be
Through
so-
the
al-
Grand
also
Canyon?
something you have to have win a lottery for.
yeah. One of my friends does it every single year for years and still hasn't won.
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, that's a lot of
Even
winning
just
the lottery.
even just a camp at the bottom, you need to win a lottery.
Yeah.
Wow.
Did your buddy Abe go with you on that hike?
No.
You know a guy named Abe?
Is it Lincoln?
Is
Is this
I don't know any Abes.
the boat guy?
yeah, that's the boat guy.
Yeah.
Nice.
Was that a
seems like he
different
could win
trip?
the
Were you
lottery.
out there again a different time?
That was a different trip. Yes.
Oh wow. Was it more recently?
Yeah, it was like 3-4 weeks ago.
I didn't know you were out
Dang.
Yeah.
there, dude. What
Thanks
else did you
for
do out
letting
there?
me
I tried
know.
to I tried to
would've-
forget about it.
I
It was the
would've met up
worst.
with you.
Really?
Looking back on it, it was fun. There was a time at the bottom I got heat exhaustion, and I've
Oh.
never had it, so I didn't know what was happening. And at that point, I was like, I don't know if I'll make it to the top.
How come you always get sick on those kind of trips?
I got sick once, dude.
Are you some kind of sissy?
Hey, is that a UFO?
There's kind of a long story to that, but I would do it again. It was fun,
Yeah, I think so.
Nice.
but it was probably the hardest thing I've done physically. Like the last 3 miles, it was like everything I could do just to keep one foot in front of the other.
Your wife go with you?
No, she couldn't do it.
You-
And I'm not
Were you
knocking
by
her, like-
yourself?
no, I was with 2 other people
Do you know
who,
them?
who were like marathon. Well, like they train for marathons and like they're runners. And the last 3 miles, they were like, "This is the hardest thing they've done."
How long did you say it took you?
11 hours.
Oh.
And I was the weak link for sure.
I thought you would have camped overnight.
I wanted to. They wouldn't let me. I just wanted to lay on. Like, just give me an hour. I need
You have to
sleep.
win a lottery. Dude, that's a lottery
Get
I
on,
don't
boy.
want to win.
Yeah.
I do not want to win a lottery that results in me camping.
I don't want to. It's so hot at the bottom. I wouldn't sleep
Really?
at night. Yeah.
Yeah, but what about at night?
It was so hot. Like we started at 1:30 p.m. So we were hiking up at dark, which one of them was like scared or like didn't want to do.
There are mountain lions there, right?
I don't know. We saw a rattlesnake.
No way.
Yeah.
Dude, I've been dying to see a rattlesnake.
We just had a
Dying.
friend get bit by a baby copperhead.
Oh yeah.
Crazy.
Rip.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to. It's crazy. I'm shocked that she didn't tell me about that. I had to hear about it from my wife. Who heard about it on Facebook?
I heard about it on Facebook. I said, why is someone posting pictures of their feet? This is weird.
Wait, it got her on a foot?
I think
Yes.
so.
Did she post pictures of the snake too?
No, I don't
No.
think so.
Man.
I heard she thought it was a bug bite and then looked down and it was slithering away.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, but I didn't. That's not from me talking to her. I think my wife said that.
I was hanging out with them last night, and she thought it was like a rusty nail or something. She didn't know what it was. She just felt like a pain, and she said it was like instantly fire. And then she looked down and saw a
Mm.
copperhead,
Well,
and then quickly realized, okay, that's venom.
Yeah.
I've never even seen one,
A copperhead?
and they're supposedly all over the place.
oh,
They
they're
are.
all over the place.
Yeah. There's actually one right behind you.
Dude, one time, Brandon, you were there for this. Hanging out at our friend Jared's house. We were sitting around a fire. Remember that fire?
Oh yeah.
Dude, a copperhead slithered right under my leg. And we're just sitting there, like, just chilling out. And, it was just like, it was like, immediately it was just there underneath my legs. I was like, oh my goodness, this copperhead. It's cool. And then the next day, I think, or 2 days later, Jared found another copperhead right over there.
Did you
I
cut its
didn't
head
know
off? Yeah.
According to PETA, they let it go on its way.
Yep. It
I would cut it off just to and send it to PETA.
Hey, you forgot this. So while we have Brandon here, have we been over how good of a guy Brandon is? So
I think so.
my first house that we lived at, I don't know if I've told this story or not,
Okay.
but it was this old farmhouse. We've definitely talked about the farmhouse, and there's snakes everywhere.
Is this the one with the
Lavender Farm?
Lavender, yeah.
Built in 1862, and you could hear the snakes slithering through the walls. My kids had butterfly nets. If I've told this story, stop me because I don't want to be redundant.
I think you did.
Okay. Anyway, so I
Tell it anyway.
You can finish.
well, the snake got caught in there, and I freaked out, and I was like, I can't handle this. So I called Brandon, who lived like 15 or 20 minutes away. I don't even know why I called you. And I was like, dude, I can't handle the snake thing. Can you help me out? So Brandon comes over, throws on a pair of garden gloves, and like holds the snake heads down. There's 2 snakes wrapped up in this butterfly net while I'm cutting them out, and they're hissing, they're freaking out, and he's just like, he's a man.
They're hissing?
Yeah,
Oh, they
Black
weren't
snakes?
happy.
they
Yeah.
were not
Black
happy.
And they were like
snakes.
really
I
wrapped
don't
in
think
there.
I've
They
ever
was-
heard a snake hiss.
Yeah,
Me
yeah.
neither.
That's what it was. I was cutting it free, and it started hissing. And that's why I stopped, and I was like, I'm gonna call Brandon. So we get the snakes free. They leave, and I was like, Brandon, you're the man. I don't know how snakes don't freak you out. I just can't handle snakes. And he's like, Oh, dude, I hate snakes. I can't.
They're the worst. I hate them.
So he just so selflessly drives 20 minutes, pins these snakes down. Can you tell the story of the attic that you went into?
Yeah, that's another snake story.
I tell
I
this
was-
story all the time at work.
You probably tell it better than I do then.
No, I don't think
I don't
do.
know. I just went up in an attic to do some roofing work. I worked for a roofing company. I get up there, and there are, like, seriously, thousands of black snakes up there, like king black snakes. Like, they're huge. And it was kind of wintertime the first time I went up there, so they're all huddled around the fireplace, like brick wall. For some reason, I had to go back out there months later, and they're active at this point. 'Cause it's not-
Thousands?
like, I'm not joking with that. Like, they're everywhere. And the owner knew. She's like, yeah, they just stay up there. I'm not worried about
How
it.
old is this house?
I would guess 9. Like, it was an older house.
Okay.
Yeah. So I went back there a few months later. Obviously, I didn't do a good job roofing because I had to go back. I don't know. But yeah, I get up there and they're active at this point. And me being stupid, I like, well, let me catch one. It'll be good for the Facebook or whatever media channel they have. And so I start trying to catch one. And man, they freak out. They were like, I'm like, they're jumping after me. And I'm like on the rafters, like just trying not to fall through the sheetrock. And it was kind of nuts.
Sounds like a bad idea.
Oh gosh, dude,
It's
That's
like
like fear
Indiana
factor.
Jones, dude.
But I did get the
Thousands
picture
of
for the media page or something.
With all of them or just one?
Just one.
Oh, come on, man. It's very rare to come across a snake nest.
in the caption you put times 1,000.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude,
Dude, that's crazy.
so nature of my work, I have to like poke up into attics to take a picture on a lot of the houses. And he told me that story, and to this day, every time I do, like I hit the attic door real hard, one time, just to make sure there's no snakes like right above me. I'm so
I've
What if
been
they
in,
just drop on you?
yeah, I don't know.
I've been in lots of. At least the only time I've seen one, and she knew it ahead of time.
Yeah,
Did she? Tell
I don't know
you
how.
ahead of
I don't know
time?
how she's okay with
Did
that.
she tell you before you went up there?
Yeah,
Oh,
she knew.
I don't think it's that hard to keep them from coming in either. Like you can get a pest control service to like get rid of snakes pretty quick. I know that because I have pest control service at one of my houses. Actually,
Well-
the house in Guatemala that you're going to.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah,
so
they
you
got some
should-
crazy.
You
snakes
should not
there.
see any snakes there, and if you do, let me know. I'll call.
Okay,
call
I'll let you know. But the house that I was at, because it's an old house, it doesn't have like a cinder block foundation like yours does.
Oh right.
It's like just stone. So there's like tons and tons and tons
Oh,
of holes
yeah.
and stuff to
Oh,
get
yeah.
in. So I imagine that's why all the old houses get snakes inside them and stuff because there's so many entry points.
Dude, you just rage caught a snake, dude. That's crazy.
All right, guys. Well, that probably wraps it up for us. Do us a favor. Tell your friends how great this show is, or in the words of Brandon, how it is.
I might listen.
It's good background noise, or good driving noise.
That's what. Yeah. She
According
said
to
it's.
Sarah.
She said it was good background noise. Well, while you're out in the world this week, make sure to never rage quit on your friends, and then claim you didn't rage quit because that just makes you look stupid. Anyway, thank you to Brandon for coming on this week. And many blessings to you out there in podcast land. Amen.